That's how it's going. It's been a long time. Vincent Liu here, yet with another Power BI portfolio dashboard video for you guys. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to turn a phone company sales and delivery data and turn it into beautiful Power BI dashboard for you guys to showcase to your future interviewer and get your dream data analyst job. Let's get right into it. First of all, click on the link in the description below where you're gonna see this Vincent's phone company data, and this is the Power BI. So we're gonna download this just like that. Press this three dot and press this downloads, and you will get the file. So let's first understand about the data. So let's click on this and let's load it up. And first of all, we need to understand what are we looking at. Okay, understanding data is the first step. So we have a lot of sheets right here all together: customer, sales order, sales line, product, shipment status, SLN type, and delivery cost. So let's look at the customer data first. So we have a table right in Excel where it showcases us all the customer informations, and we have sales order for the sales details, right? Each sales donates the order dates and the order time, and which customer with the customer ID that bought it, and a consignment number for the delivery shipment. And this one particular sales order has their individual sales line, okay, where it purchased different type of products with different type of quantity. Right, and obviously we have the products detail over here where it shows, right, P01 is iPhone with its respective selling price and cost. All right, and this sales order, it has a shipment number. So basically this shipment number tells us the status of the shipment. So this particular customer C01 is at Vincent with the address over here, has a shipment to Selangor, Petaling Jaya, where we can see the shipment status here. Okay, so over here the sales order with 212, and if we were to filter 212, you can know what happened to this shipment. So basically the sales opened at 10 a.m. at 22nd of January, and then it will deliver to Vincent at 4 p.m., which is a same day delivery. So we open it and we release the order for processing, in transit, and finally delivered. So this is where we can see all the shipment details of each consignment number. And obviously we have our SLA for delivery, right? Service level agreement, where if the region is at Central, for example, this customer, it lives at Central, it needs to be delivered at the same day if it's before cutoff or after cutoff, and so on. And obviously we have type of delivery reason where we delay, and whether the delay is it uncontrollable and where we cannot control and we need to exclude from the SLA calculations, or OOS, which is out of stock, where it is controllable because we didn't plan properly. And of course we have the delivery cost right here. So you might be wondering, why do we have so much different sheets and we can't group them all together? Okay, if we were to group them all together, right, the sales order, right, this particular sales order have two type of products, and we have the quantity and the phone that it purchased, right, Vincent purchased, and then we have the description of the phone, right, everything lumped into one table, right? Why do we not want to do this? Right, first of all, if we were to do this, all the information will be repeated. All right, we can actually summarize all this information out in another table, right? For example, this sales order, if we want to know the customer details, right, one customer can buy multiple times, as you can see here, right? So with just the customer ID, I know this particular customer details at another table. Okay, it's same thing over here, the sales, right? This particular sales, right, the detail on that sales, we can store it in another table where what are the products it purchased and what the quantity it purchased. Okay, over here it denotes the detail of the products. So we can separate them out like such. So why do we want to do that? Okay, So if we were to go to ChatGPT and just ask, right, facts table and dimension table, you can have a better understanding. So facts table are basically like our sales order. It shows us, right, this particular sales, right, how many quantity we buy, right, how many quantity the customer buy, and so on. So it's additive data because every day we have business coming in, coming out, and it will be longer and longer. So how about dimension table right here? So the dimension table is particularly like our products table. Okay, our products table where it shows the detail of the products, or the customer table, right? It is stored as here, right? It store everything here, the details and the information. So we can link all this table together and we have all the informations. That's why we had our facts table and we have our dimension table, which is customer and products, right? Sales line is actually a facts table as well. So now that we understand all this table, let's look them out in Power BI. And if you're new to Power BI and you want to download the Power BI, you can actually go to my channel over here, Vincent do Power BI Data Analyst, okay? And you can go to learn how to build a Power BI dashboard in 20 minutes tutorial for beginner, alright? Just search in my channel Power BI and watch this video and learn how to download Power BI and everything, and learn about Power BI dashboard. And if you want to learn how to use Power Query Editor, you can view this video here. And obviously this is a series of Power BI portfolio series, and my first series is over here, level 1. This series is level 5, so be sure to view this first and view this level 5, which is the video right now. So pause this video and go watch all this video to learn more about Power BI. Right now, we are going to turn all these complex Excel sheets into beautiful visualizations for better analysis like this. So we're gonna make all these beautiful visualizations where you can understand at first glance. And we can have a report as well where it shows all the details on what happened to the particular order and everything. So first of all, we need to load the data into Power BI. So just go to click on type Power BI and we're gonna open a file. So if you do not have Power BI, go watch the video where I teach you guys how to install Power BI. So now that I open up Power BI, I want a blank reports and I want to import data from Excel. So we're gonna load the Excel data here, all this data into Power BI. So all you have to do is import data from Excel and load this data right here, Vincent's phone company data. Just like that, it will help us load and pop out this window right here. So over here, I'm not going to select all together. This all together sheets just for your understanding, where if you combine all the data together, it will be very complex and it has a lot of space. So I'm just gonna load everything else right here, from customer to delivery cost to products to sales line, sales order, shipment status, SLA, and type of SLA. And I'm not gonna load, I'm gonna press transform data first. So after I'm gonna press transform data because I want to investigate the data, that's why I press transform data. And over here, I'm gonna look through all the data and understand. So over here, as you can see, right, we need to make this to use as a header. So click on use first row as header over here at this type. As for the SLA, right, everything looks fine, right? There are no dirty data, right? Because this video, I'm not gonna teach you guys how to use this Power Query Editor. If you want to learn how to use Power Query Editor, you can click on my another video. Okay, so all these things is fine, looks great. Okay, so over here, this one as well, we need to use first row as header. All right. So when everything is done nicely, we're gonna click on close and apply. So we're gonna wait for it to load. We just like that, we'll load every data into Power BI. Right, I successfully load all this Excel data into my Power BI right here. So first of all, this is the report view, table view, and model view at the left hand side right here. I'm gonna click on model view and see how Power BI automatically do a relationship for us. Okay, so yes, Power BI actually very smart. It can actually link all the primary key to the secondary key from all the table. So we have our dimension table, which is the products, right? Dimension table products, okay? Delivery cost, which is a dimension table as well, right? Customer information dimensions. We have the facts table, which is a sales order, sales line, okay? Let's put it here. Sales order, sales line. We have the shipment status as well. We have the SLA, okay? So let's put it over here first. All right, so SLA, we're gonna do something about it. All right, so let's understand this. So we have the products and the sales line. So if you go to our sales line from Excel, we need to link the product to, right, the product table. Okay, so amazingly, the Power BI automatically detect the relationships between the product ID, right? So this is one, means this is the primary key, okay? And go to this primary key here as well. So we have multiple product ID here, and this is the dimension table. It has a unique product ID over here. That's why it's one to many. So if you click on this, double click on these relationships, you can see it's a one-to-many relationships where, right, the product table is one and this many, right? We have many type of products, right, in the sales line, right? As you go see over here, the sales line, we have multiple product line, product ID here, and this is all unique ID for each product's details. Okay, so let's move on. This sales line, right? Sales order have multiple sales line, right? One customer can purchase multiple, right? Multiple type of products. That's why we have multiple sales line right here, right? It links between sales number, right? Sales number, and over here, okay, we have customer ID here as well. So with customer ID, we link with the customer table. Click on it, okay, it automatically links this up. And of course, we have our delivery costs, okay. So each different city have their own delivery costs where it links to the customer table over here. And then we have the shipment status, okay. Each consignment number have their own, right, details, okay. What happened to the delivery status, which is our another facts table as well. And then we have our SLA calculations, where what type of location needs to be delivered at what, when, right? We have SLA which is not linked yet. So that's how we're gonna understand. So if your Power BI did not do all these things and link this up for you, you can actually, right, link it manually, right, by dragging product ID to product ID just like that, right? One-to-many relationships and click save. Okay, so if you want to delete the relationship, just like that. Okay, now we understand the relationships. We're gonna try build this dashboard right here, right? Let's get right into it. In order to quicken the process, go back to the link and download this Power BI right here, right? This the Power BI that already done, and you can open up, which everything is already done for us. So first of all, I want to create this dates filter, right? In order to have this date filter, I need to have a dimension table where I have all the calendars, right, for me. So as you can see over here at the right hand side here, I have a custom made table with calendar. So I'm gonna click on it, and this is my code. So all I have to do is select everything and copy and go back to your Power BI right here, okay, where we just loaded all our data, right? Go to modeling, go to new table to create a custom table and paste. Just like that, we can create our calendar table. All right, so to understand this, okay, over here this code denotes, right, the start of the dates and the end of the date for the calendar, and then each line, each columns, right? What are the new columns, right? Add columns. So we have the year columns, the month number, the month columns, as well as the month number, the year month, the week number, right? And the week number and year, right? We have all this, right? All this data, right? Just click on it and let me show you guys, right, how it looks like, right? Just go to table view right here, and we can see, right, what our custom made calendar table looks like. So we have the 1st of January 2025 all the way to today right here, right? March of 23, and we have all the respective informations, right? We have the month number, the month, the year, month number, and everything else. Okay, so we are going to link, right, these dates to the sales order date right here, right? Just gonna link this to this. So how do we do that? We go to model view, okay, the calendar, right, the calendar that we just created recently, and just like that, we're gonna drag these order dates to dates, and we're gonna link them, right? So with that, I can now create a filter. So by click on this slicer, all right, this slicer, right, at the visualizations here, okay, all I have to do is click on this, drag this date here, and just like that, we can have our date slicer exactly as my done Power BI right here. All right, we're gonna create this date filter, just like that. We have our date filter right here. All right, for the sake of reducing time, I gonna use my done Power BI and teach you guys how to do it. Okay, so let's move on to another data enrichment where we're gonna create this delivery cost. Right, we're gonna move the delivery cost detailed information to the customer table right here. So in order to link it, we go to model view, and we can see, right, we already have a connection between customer and the delivery cost. So the reason I want to link the delivery cost to this table right here is because, okay, actually we can't filter or get the data if the table, right, is two tables apart, meaning I need to know the delivery cost at this table, right? And it's very hard for me to link over here. Let me show you guys why. So even though, all right, the delivery cost is at this table, which is linked to customer, and the customer table is linked to sales order, right? If I were to use this sales order and delivery cost, it would not show it out. Let me show you guys what I mean by that. Just by click on a table, right, table visualizations, we go to sales order, okay, for example, any sales order right here. Let's say if I were to, right, open up the delivery cost and click on this delivery cost, right, it will not show the relationships for me. All right, can you guys see that? Right, this is all not true. For example, you go back to the sales order, okay, this SO1, which is customer 1, where the customer 1 is Vincent, which is Petaling Jaya, and the delivery cost for Petaling Jaya is 5. So if you go back to this Power BI right here, it's not 5, right? The 5 did not show here. Instead, it was a sum of everything, which is 185. So you go back here, the sum of everything here is 155, which is wrong, right? That's why I want to move this delivery cost information to customer right here. So how do we do that? So by right click on the customer, new column, all right, and then we're just gonna type in delivery cost equals related, all right, delivery cost. Just like that, it will move the information from this table to this table, customer table, and create a new column for us, which is delivery cost. So if I were to drag this delivery cost to here, it will actually be correct, right? This is Petaling Jaya, right, purchased by Vincent, which lives at Petaling Jaya, and the delivery cost is 5. So that's why we want to have a new column, right? We have a new column right here where we move this information to here. So the next one on the line is revenue, where in the products, I want to know the revenue of each products. So what I mean by that, so over here, you go to products, we can see, right, the cost of me purchasing, right, the business owner purchasing this iPhone is actually 3,000, and I sell it for 3,005. So the revenue will be 500, right, so on and so forth. So I can have a data enrichment table where I can calculate out my revenue. So how do we do that? So I just gonna simply copy this code and go back to my original Power BI where I'm working on it. Over here, I'm gonna go to products table, expand the product table, and right click new column. I'm just gonna paste this code right here. So I'm creating a revenue table where it uses the information from selling price and minus the cost. Basically, it can give us the revenue. So I'm gonna create another table. Right? I'm gonna delete this. Again, another visual table, because I want to see, right, whether is it true. I'm gonna click on description, selling price, cost, and revenue. So we just like that, we have a enriched data column where it uses the selling price and minus the cost to get the revenue for each item. So the next one will be add the sales line. So the sales line is all the sales order details where we can see the revenue, the sales, the selling price, the total cost, and the total revenue. So what I mean by that, so let's go back to the raw data right here, sales line. So this particular customer, right, ordered 2 types of phone, and each type of phone, right, one of them he purchased 1, and the second type of phone he purchased 2. So basically we can actually calculate out what's the total sales, what's the total revenue, right? So how do we do that? So let's go back to the original Power BI. I'm just gonna copy the code right here. Okay, related product revenue. So basically I move the data here, okay, to this table here, right? Revenue to this sales line revenue, so that I can multiply the quantity to get the total revenue, right? I have the quantity here, right? To get the total revenue, I need to have the individual revenue for each type of products and multiply by quantity to get the total revenue. That's why I need to move the data to this table right here. So again, I'm just gonna copy, all right, go back to my original. Right, let's close everything up, and I'm gonna sales line, new column, paste the table here, right? Basically related products, right? We have a relationship between the products table and the sales line. Therefore, I can have the information from here, drag to here, which is the revenue. So how do we get total revenue? So the total revenue is basically multiply quantity with revenue, right? So I'm gonna go back here, revenue multiplied by quantity, new column, total revenue, just like that. So this one I'm gonna move it to the top, another visual table, okay, expand it. We have sales number, right? Multiple sales number, have multiple sales ID. Okay, one of the sales order, we can have multiple product purchase with the quantity, right? Again, we can have multiple, and each of the products revenue and the total revenue, just like that. You can see we have multiplied by 2, right? This PO2, which is, right, let me drag this ID row right here real quick. So the PO2 is Samsung S25 with a revenue of 500, right? If Vincent were to purchase 2, right, you get a revenue for 1,000 for this business right here. So as you can see, we can have all this data enrichment. So I'm just gonna continue, right, doing the total sales, which using the selling price. So create a new table, new column right here, which get the information for selling price, right? And now I'm gonna multiply selling price with quantity to get the sales, right? So I'm gonna new column, sales, all right? We can do that as well. Let's remove revenue and look at sales. So selling price and sales. So I'm selling this PO1, which is iPhone, for 3,500. If I were to buy one, right, the customer would buy one, we get a sales of 3,500. The customer would buy 2, right? For example, for this Samsung S25, the sales for that order will be 8,000, so on and so forth. Okay, and then we can have cost as well, right? We're gonna go and move the cost, which is the total cost, right? I want to see the total cost of this product right here. Okay, have a new column, total cost. So we just like that, we have a lot of data enrichment. Before we go into sales order, let's look at shipment status and how do we have the information from sales shipment to sales order, right? What I mean by that. So if you were to go to this sales order right here, I want to know this particular order, right? For example, this SO10, what's the latest status right now? Okay, if you were to know the latest status, basically, right, you're gonna find this consignment number in this shipment status, right? And then we can know the latest information, which is at the release stage, right? We release the order for processing, but we can't really link this data to the sales order, right? What I mean by that. So if you were to look at it, we have multiple, right? Multiple information from here. Okay, one consignment number can have multiple information, right? As I filter here, you can have 4 information. So how do you move this information to sales order, right? You can't really do it, right? We need the latest, right? I want to know the latest status for this particular order. Example right here, you go to the reports, right? The reports visualization where I done the Power BI, you can see this particular order SO10, the latest status is release. So how do I do this? So basically we need to create a table where it only shows the latest for each consignment number. So what I mean by that, so this shipment status latest, you click on it, basically it uses the information from the shipment status, but it only returns the maximum entry for each consignment number, right? Basically create a table that only shows the latest information for each consignment number. So go back to my working Power BI file, go to modeling, new custom table, which is a new table, paste this table right here, shipment status latest, right? And commit, and we can have our latest detail for each consignment number. So we go to table visualizations to have a better understanding, right? Drag all the information in, okay, and for the date, go back to date, for time, go back to time, so we can see it only show us the latest information for each consignment number. Well, with this, we can finally link to sales order. Okay, we can link it to sales order for them to show the latest status. So every time the shipment status updates, any updates, it will automatically update the information from here. So let's say tomorrow this particular order was in transit, it will show in transit, and which if this particular order is delivered, it will show delivered, right? It will be always updated because this table only get the latest information because it uses this max entry. So right now let's link them up. Go to the drafting Power BI, shipment status latest, we're gonna link the consignment number with consignment number, right? And I'm gonna move the information from the status here to this table here. So we go back to this sales order. I'm gonna copy the code for the status, copy this code, go back to my working Power BI file, right click on the sales order, new column, status, click on it. There we have it. We have the latest status for each table. So let me delete all these visualizations, and let's open up sales order from the order table and their respective latest status. Just like that, we have all the latest status. Now let's talk about SLA. So the SLA is actually very simple. So if I were to live at central region, okay, and if the order comes in before the cutoff, I need to deliver the products at same day. So SLA, which is service level, with 0 because I need to deliver at same day. So if the order comes in and after cutoff, right, the order from central, I can have 1 day of delivery time, and if I exceed that, it will fail, right? So on and so forth. We have north region in Malaysia. Before cutoff, I need to deliver at 1 day, and so on and so forth. East Coast is the same, right? East Malaysia, which is a bit further, right? Need to travel across the sea. That's why I can have more time to deliver the products, and before cut and after cut. So how do we connect this thing, right? All this information to our SLA calculations. So if you were to go to the original table, original Power BI file, you can see at the sales order, I create this custom column where it shows if the sales order time is lesser than 12, which is noon, it will be for cutoff. Afternoon will be after cutoff. So by using this, we can actually know, right, each of the particular order, is it before cutoff or after cutoff, which is shown over here at my Power BI, the Power BI that I've done. So basically, I need to copy this code, okay, for this if statement. Go back to my working Power BI, right click on the sales order, new column, cutoff status. Then I know, okay, all this particular order, is it before cutoff or after cutoff? Go to order time, right? Click, drag this here, right? So I know, right? Is it before cutoff or after cutoff? So now, how do I link this SLA table to my sales order? If you can see over here, there's actually no primary key or foreign key for me to link. That's why we need to create a new primary key at the SLA over here and a foreign key at the sales order over here. So how do we do that? So over here you can see, all right, over here I have my sales order and I have this thing called SLA target link, where I have a region and a cutoff status. Okay, so basically over here I link these two columns together. It forms a unique primary key, and then I need to have the same thing over here where I have this cutoff, right? The previous data enrichment cutoff time. I just need to pull in the region over here, and with that I can concat these two columns together and have my foreign key. So let's do it. So let's go to here. Over here I need to have a region. Since I already have the cutoff, I need to create a region. So the region is at the customer table. So I'm gonna copy this, go back to my sales order and my working Power BI file, new column, region, all right, and I'm gonna drag this to this file, right, this visualization here. Okay, so these two columns, and with my SLA, I'm gonna apply everything. Let's move the time to here. All right, so I'm gonna link this with this. So how do we do that? So we need to concat these two columns together to form a primary key, a unique primary key for this SLA table. So we go back to my finished Power BI file, copy this, right, go back to the working file, new column, SLA target link, region and time. So with that, I have my region and time unique key, right, unique primary key, and we're gonna do the same thing over here, right, which I already done it at this SLA target link. Copy that, go to sales order, new column, we're gonna link it like this. All right, so we have a primary key and foreign key to link each other. So let's go back to here, go to this SLA target link, just like that. I link my SLA table with the sales order table. So now I can know the SLA duration. Okay, so I'm going to move this SLA duration to this sales order right here. So again, we're going to copy the SLA duration so I can know each particular order what is my targeted SLA duration. So again, sales order, new column, SLA duration and click yes. So just like that, we link these two tables up, and I'm gonna move the SLA duration to show you guys. Just like that, I know, right, what's my targeted SLA. So East Malaysia, I can have 4 days, right? North region, if after cutoff can 2 days. Before cutoff, I need to deliver the products at 1 day. So now how do I know whether did we achieve our SLA or not? So basically we need to calculate the aging for the delivery. So with order dates minus the status latest dates, where if it is delivered, alright, then we can know what's the aging. So for example, this particular order, 22nd, we deliver at 22nd, aging 0. This particular order, which we need to deliver to Penang, where our order lands at 22nd, but we deliver at 24th, we took 2 days, right, and we failed, right, because it's before cutoff, so we need to deliver at 1 day, not 2 days. That's why we fail. So how do we do that? Basically, we need to have this status latest date, right? Status latest date for our end date. So over here, I'm just gonna copy the code to save some time, and then I'll go back to my working file, sales order, new column. I'm gonna pull in the latest date right here. I'm gonna drag this thing up, right? Put it here. So order time, right, I can actually change the order time format to a more readable view. Latest status date. This one also I can change the format to a better readable view. And then order date, I'm going to put it right here for me to compare again. I'm going to change this format to a better readable view. Okay, just like that, I can see order dates and the latest dates comparing each other. So right now I need to have a column with aging. So how do we do that? Go back to the previous done file. We just need to use this function called date difference. Order dates and status dated dates. I can have my aging, right? So again, new column. Calculate out the aging between these two dates. Just gonna pull drag it out, and just like that I can know my aging. So if it's delivered, alright, and then it is within the SLA set over here, right, the SLA rules over here, then we can have pass. If it's more than that, it will fail. For example, right, let's look at one example here. Alright, this is to the north region before cutoff. Okay, north region before cutoff, we need to deliver at 1, but we took 2 days, so we failed this thing. So I need to create another table to tell me whether we fail or pass. So we go back to this original done Power BI. Let's go to SLA right here, copy this code and paste it right here, new column, paste it. So what this code means, so it's a switch function where if it's delivered and the aging is smaller or equals to the SLA duration, then we pass. Alright, if it's delivered, first we need to be delivered, and if the aging is smaller or equal to the SLA duration, then we pass. If the aging is more than the SLA duration, we automatically fail. So just like that. Else we blank, right? Else we blank because it's not delivered yet, right? So let's pull out this SLA and see whether is it correct. Let's put the SLA right here, so we can see. All right, delivered, pass. Okay, this one is not delivered yet, so we still within the SLA, we cannot denote as pass or fail. This one, it failed. Look at that, it failed because we exceed the SLA duration, right? It needs to be 1, but we deliver at 2. This one we pass, right, because after cutoff, Again, this one at central region, before cutoff it needs to be 0 as shown over here. This one East Coast, before cutoff it needs to be 1, but with 2 we fail. Right? So we can know whether we fail or pass our SLA. So then again, if you were to look at the type over here, if it's in a valid reason for us to fail because, right, the receiver request for later delivery is uncontrollable, outside our control, we exceed the SLA duration, but it's actually, right, outside our control, we will exclude it from the SLA calculation. Or if it's out of stock, where we did not plan we did not do our planning properly, causing the delivery to fail, hence it must be failed. So of course all this reason is in the shipment status here, where it shows, right, because it's later delivery or whether is it out of stock, that's why it has a delay. So how do we get the information from here? Right, so over here at my done Power BI, I actually created this custom table where shipment status delay reason, where it only shows us the information for the delay reason. So I'm going to copy this, go back to my draft Power BI, go to modeling, new table, paste it right here. So basically it filters out, right? It filters out the status, shipment status, where all the status is other than the failure. So it's open, release, in transit, delivered. So basically we filter out all this information, right? I filter out all this. You left with only the delay reason. So just like that, I can get this table. So with that, and then I need to have each consignment number with the maximum entry again for it to be unique, right? Just like that, we commit it. So over at the model view right here, we're going to link this shipment status delay reason to my sales order, so I can my information there. So let's go to consignment number, link with this consignment number, one-to-one relationships, and let's go back to my done Power BI, where I'm going to drag this delay reason to this table right here. Go to delay reason, related shipment status, delay reason status, go back to my sales order, new column, let's place it here. Alright, let's do it again. So there we have it. We can drag our delay reason to here. So with that, we can know this particular order, right, the SO5 is actually not filled because the receiver actually requests for later delivery. So how do we know whether this reason is uncontrollable or controllable? Is in the type right here. So over here, let's go to the type, which is over here, hidden behind here. And then this type, I'm gonna have this reason link with delay reason, ring with this reason, just like that. Save. Then we can have the type of the delay reason, link it to the sales order. So let's go to the table right here, type, copy this, go back to my drafting Power BI, go back to my sales order, new column, paste the type right here, drag it out and see, there we have it. It is uncontrollable. So I want to exclude, right? We're going to exclude this, right, if it's failed. Because sometimes, right, we have a delay reason, but we can have pass as well. So how do we have a new column that says if it's failed and then it's uncontrollable, we exclude it. So let's go to here. We are going to SLA exclusion. As you can see, it's an if statement. If the SLA is failed and the type is uncontrollable, we can exclude from the SLA. So let's copy this, new column, we're gonna paste it right here, just like that. We can pull it out again. You can see, right, this particular order we need to exclude from the SLA calculations. Now let's start calculate our delivery SLA percentage right here. So with this, I created a measure. If you look at it, it's actually using, right, the numerator as pass and the denominator will be pass plus fail, right? The count rows of this sales order. So any row that pass on the top of the numerator and order pass or fail at the denominator and divide them, we can get our percentage of the SLA. So I'm going to copy it, go back to my drafting Power BI, new measure, right click new measure, paste it, and just like that we have it. And then we're gonna use this cut visual, and we're gonna put this in here, right? Put this in here, we have a percentage. So I'm gonna click on this SLA again, click on the format percentage to make it better. So if you notice, right, over here is 71.4, this 62.5. The reason is because we need to remove, right? We need to exclude the uncontrollable reason from our SLA calculations. So basically we need to drag this SLA exclusion to the filter on this visual right here, and I'm going to click select all, and I'm going to deselect exclude from SLA, and there we have it. We have our SLA percentage exactly as this Power BI right here. Now let's start to create all these visualizations. Over here we can see we have different region, right, and they're aging. So it's green color we pass, if it's red color we fail. So we have a failure at central region. Click on it, you can see, right, it's uncontrollable fail. Okay, uncontrollable fail. So over here we have East Coast with fail, right? This is out of stock, it's controllable, and it is our fault. That's why it's counted as fail. So with visualizations and interactive dashboard, we can easily click on it and know what's happening, right? This particular order as called the Regano, right? Customer Mervyn's, and all the details. So that's why Power BI dashboard is so powerful, because we can investigate everything by clicking in the dashboard. So how do we create this table pivot view? So over here you can see I'm using metrics. Let's go to my draft Power BI. Alright, let's remove all this thing. I'm going to go to metrics. I'm going to select my region. Okay, where's my region? Over here at row, my region, and aging at column. All right, and my orders. Right, I need to have my orders at count of orders. Right, let's select count. As you can see, you can have all these 4 orders at Central, 1 order at East Coast, 2 orders at East Malaysia, and have my aging. Right, 5 orders, 4 orders I deliver at 0, 1 order I actually deliver at 1 day, right? So I need to also put in the before and after cutoff statuses over here, and I'm going to expand it, like by pressing on this. There we have it, just like that. It is same as this picture right here. Okay, so let's see how I make some colors, right? So I did the colors at the format visuals. So go to your format visuals, go to your cell elements, background colors, click on this conditional formatting, go to rules, all right, and go to my SLA, which in the sales order SLA here, and if it's pass, then I'm going to put some green colors. Let's put some green colors, all right. And if it's fail, I'm going to put some red colors, just like that, and click OK. So as you can see, it's exactly the same as here. So I'm going to put in, right, it's fine. All right, so you can see, right, some of the numbers, why is it 2 over here and why is it 1 over here? Because, right, some of the orders, right, it's not finalized yet, right? Some of the orders is not finalized. That's what I say by that. Over here we have a release and in transit, right? Release order and in transit orders. Basically we cannot denote them as pass or fail yet, so I need to remove it from this visual here. So how do I remove it? So I go to my SLA, click on here, and remove this blank. So it will be same as my visualization here. Okay, so let's move on to this one. So this particular visual, I need to create two measures where it gives me all the pass number and all the field numbers. So over here you can see, right, the field quantity. So with this code right here, calculates all the field orders. So we calculate count, filter only the SLA where it is field. So I'm going to copy this measure code, go to my draft Power BI, right click new measures and paste it. Right, this is my field. Let's go to copy the passcode, go back to my drafting Power BI, new measure, pass. Okay, so I'm gonna copy and paste this, and then I'm just gonna remove the count and the aging, and I'm just gonna click on the pass and the field. Just like that, we can have this visual exactly same as this one right here. Okay, so obviously I need to do some adjustment. Column subtotal, let's go to row subtotal, position bottom, this one also position bottom. Right, just like that, it's more readable this way. Alright, so how to make the colors? Same thing, format visuals, cells color, go to rules, and over here we can have, if it's more than 0 and if it's maximum, we can have some green colors. Okay, just like that. Obviously I can make it total, right, because the total is also pass. Okay, do the same thing for field, rules, quantity, right, bigger than 0, right, smaller than maximum. Let's put some red colors. Okay, let's go back to select values and totals, just like that. And we can actually change the title here to pass and to field, and there we have it. So with that, let's move on to the percentage SLA, right, this one right here. So again, this is very simple since we already have it. So let's go back, copy paste the visual again, remove this, pull in the SLA, just like that. So obviously the formula over here, if it's empty or 0, it will not show, so I want it to show. So over the region here, show item with no data, just like that. We can have order line aligned, and of course I can have 1% as well. I mean 1 decimal place, right, just like that. We can have 1 decimal place, and we can have colors as well. Again, same thing, cell elements, background colors, go to rules and select percentage, right. I make it 0.8, right, 0.8. if it's lower than 0.8 it's red, if it's more than 0.8, right, put it to numbers, right, if it's green, alright, this one will be maximum, just like that. Alright, we can actually apply to totals as well, just like that. You can have all the SLA percentage. So of course this one I need to remove exclusion as well. So let's go to exclusion, remove exclusion 71.4, which is over here 71.4, right. Some errors here, exclusion. Let's go to filter, expand the filter view, exclusion, we do remove the exclusion 71.4. So how do we create this amazing map visual right here? So this map visual was created over here at ArcGIS for Power BI, right. I particularly love these map visuals because it can show me, right, where are the orders. All right, Vincent order at Putra Petaling Jaya. All right, it's very amazing, I love it. As you can see over here, I use city, count of sales number, and city as colors. So let's go my drafting Power BI, click on this visual. Alright, let's enlarge it, let's drag it to here, enlarge it, okay, and then let's put in some cities, right, for the locations, right, city for the colors again, on count of all the numbers, add size. Alright, as you can see, everything is already smoothly done. Let's select some different maps. Right, I love some colors, so I'm gonna open street map or streets. Right, very beautiful. And if you want to have some numbering data labels, right, you can go to this, right, settings right here, right, labels, show labels, where we can have, let's pull this out a bit, we can have count of sales number. Let's close this up, move it right here, beautiful. We have our sales number, right? We have 2 sales order from Kuching, 1 from Terengganu, right, 2 at Kuala Lumpur, 3 at Petaling Jaya, right? It's very, very beautiful visuals over here. So let's make it right here, right? Let's smoothen this up, right? For those beautifications, you guys can do it on your own, right? You can beautify and make it like this, all right? But I'm not gonna do it right now. Right, let's move on. So over here we have some table information, right, about our SLA, right? We have 2 particular orders, right, with delay and fail, right? And this one we have 3 fail orders. All right, okay, 2 particular orders that's it's not decisive yet, right? Example, we just released an in transit, that's why it did not have pass or fail. We have 3 orders that we fail. One is pure delay, another one is out of stock, controllable, and another one is request related delivery, and we have 5 pass. Okay, and then we have order status, right, from orders between the 22nd and 24th. Or here 8 delivered, 1 still in transit, or 1 still at the release processing stage, right? All these informations. So I can actually copy, right? I can actually copy all these tables. Let me, right, click on shift to multi-select, and I can actually go to my draft Power BI and paste it right here. You can see, because all the information is the same, right? All the information is the same. That's why I can actually copy paste from 2 different Power BI. So basically, right, I select the data from sales order and SLA, right, status and the sales number, right, all the information is right here. Okay, let's move on. Now let's look at the business side of things. Okay, over here I have a daily net profit margin. Where I can see, right, at 22nd I achieve a revenue, right? Vincent Phone's company achieve a revenue, right? A net profit, right? Not revenue, net profit of 6,435. Right? How do we get this? Right? Over here, I use this measure for net. So basically, I just need to have this sales line, total revenue minus sales order, delivery cost. Right? It makes sense. I use my revenue minus the delivery cost, I get my net. So basically, I'm just going to copy this, go to my sales order, new measure, paste it right here. All right, so let's see, I do not have this information here. Okay, let's commit first. Right, we have an error. I need to have this particular information, sales order, delivery cost. Go back to here, sales order, delivery cost. Add over here, delivery cost from customer table. Go back to my drafting Power BI, new column, sales order, delivery cost. Let's commit it, right? Then we can know all the delivery cost for each orders, and then I can have this particular stack area chart, and then I have my net profit at y-axis, and then I have my dates as my x-axis, just like that. And then I can have my data labels, right? I can use it for values. I can use this as none to see the particular one, right? I leave it to you guys to design on how you want to present it, right? Make it to $sign, just like that. Amazing, as same as this one right here. Okay, so I'm not gonna do some beautifications. You guys can play around with it, but with this, it gives me a net profit of each day. Now I can have my top customer and best selling phone. So over here, as you can see, I'm just gonna use customer name and the sales, right? The sales which is multiplied by the quantity. Then I can know who's my top buying customer. Let's go back to my drafting Power BI. A simple table view, right? A simple table view, and then I can have my, let's collapse them, like my customer name, all right? And then I can have my sales line, right? Sales with multiplication of the quantity to get the total sales. Again, I can actually make this to $sign, and then I can do it right here, largest to smallest, so we can see Vincent actually, I purchased the most phone, followed by Amanda, Melvin, Ryan, and Sean. Right, we can have a table. Did I use a table? I use a bar chart, right? I use a bar chart. Let's look at a bar chart right here, cluster bar chart. I think I use products, all right? Products description for my y-axis, and then on my x-axis I use quantity of my order. Okay, just like that. The highest number selling phone is Honor X9C, followed by Renault 10 and Samsung Y25. So I can have a data label here, data labels, just like that, same as this over here. So over here I have my best phone sales, right? Even though X9C have the highest sales, highest sales number, highest sales volume, right? But the sales value is S25 is bigger. Look at that, right? Samsung S25 have a bigger region of sales, right? Sales value, right? The sales value, right? This is the sales quantity, is the sales value, right? 60K, right? 60K for Samsung S25. Even though the best selling phone is X9C, but Samsung S25 actually give me, right, better sales, right, value. So how do I do that? So this particular pie chart, I use sales description, right, just like that, sales and product description. So let's go to my drafting Power BI again. Click on this, right? Donut chart or pie chart is up to you. I'm gonna use description and sales, right? Just like that, we can have a beautiful dashboard done. And obviously you can have some beautiful visualizations, right? Insert some, some rectangles, all right? Write some wordings here, just like what I did, some text. Okay, Vincent's phone company, all right? Change some colors, right? So it's up to you. Some font sizing, just like that. Okay, you can beautify it like me over here, or you can actually, right, just simple, right, simple enough over here. All right, let's move to reports. So in the reports, we can actually have all the information, right? As you can see, all the information of the order. Okay, as you can see, the order dates, order time, right? Let's zoom in for you guys to see. Okay, and the cutoff, right? Who's our customer, right? This particular customer lives at Central, right? Petaling Jaya, right? The particular shipment consignment number, right? The status of this particular order is already delivered, right? The latest status date, which is delivered at 22nd, right? It took the company same day to deliver, so we pass it. There's no delay reason, right? The total sales by this particular order is 11.5 thousand. The total cost for the company is 10. Therefore, we have a revenue of 1,500 and the delivery cost of 5, hence giving us a net margin of 1,495. Right? So this particular order, right, what type of phone did Vincent buy at this date? Vincent buy Samsung and iPhone, right? One iPhone and one Samsung with their respective informations over here, right? A single unit cost price, single unit cost selling price, quantity, total sales, which is multiplied using quantity with the cost, quantity with the selling price, and total cost for the company to buy that phone, and the total revenue. So again, with the Samsung, with the 2 quantity, we multiply by 2, we get a total sales with the selling price, and the total cost, which is 2 multiplied by 3,500, and the total revenue. So the total revenue over here, the net profit is over here. So we just like that, we can have a report view, right? High level report view, a detailed report of the orders. And we can also do some drill down for this particular consignment number if you want to know the status, right? How was the status like? We can have a drill down shipment status, which is over here. You can see, right, this particular consignment number, right? The orders comes in at 10 o'clock, release at, use 5 minutes to check the orders, right? Process it for 1 hour, and we have an in transit stage after 1 hour, and after that it took 5 hours to deliver to Vincent at the same day. So let's see how do we do this. Since all the information here is the same, right, between these two Power BI, right, the one that we done and the one that we are drafting right here. So basically I can just click new page, right? I'm just gonna rename this as dashboard, or I'm gonna rename this as reports, and over here I can just go back to my done Power BI. I'm just gonna copy this and paste it over here to save some time, right? So let's see what's the error here. So I do not have this table, this column total sales. All right, let's go back to my done Power BI total sales, right? Where's the total sales? Is at sales order. Right, let's create this total sales order. Okay, basically the total sales is the quantity multiplied by selling price, right? Let's copy this. I think I have this, right? Total sales, right? I can actually use this to denote as sum of the sales, which is actually the same information, right? Let's see whether is it true or not. So I think the information is supposed to be the same. So total sales, right, actually it's over here as well, right? We already have the sales value here. Okay, it's actually the same, right? This is just another measures which will give us the same value from, right, sales over here. Okay, that's why I don't really need to create a measure. I can use the sales over here because the value is the same, as you guys can see over here. So over here, of course, I can make all of them a $sign, right? Let's see, right? Total cost. So the total cost is at here. I make it a $sign. Revenue, let's make it a $sign, right? Delivery cost, which is at sales order here. Delivery cost, let's make it a $sign, right? We have all the informations for our report, right? So obviously we can have our, right, our date filter here as well. We can copy the visuals, right? Do we want to sync it, right? We can sync it. Okay, and then we can have our title here as well, or our SLA. Let's select them and paste it here, right? And then we can have our details, right? The order details, right? Let's go back to our report here at the sales line. I want a sales order, I want a sales line. Sales lines is the detail of each order. Again, we do not have a total sales, right? Actually, it's the same thing. Let's delete them. right? The total sales, which is the sales, right? Oh, I created two tables, so I can just remove this total sales since I already have it here. Alright, let's delete this sales as well. And there we have it. So if I click on, let's say, right, this particular Melvin, let's see what Melvin purchased, right? Melvin purchased at 23rd of January 2025. Melvin actually purchased 2 iPhone, 1 Oppo Reno 13, right? 5 Samsung, right? Melvin purchased a lot of phones, right? Which he lived at Terengganu, right? And if it's out of stock, all right, that's why we failed, right? But still we delivered, but we already passed the SLA. Okay, so just like that, and the total value of all the orders right here. So how do we create this drill down function? As I show you guys, right click on this, drill down shipment status, right? Basically it's this one right here. So it's actually very simple. You go to new page, right? You can go look at this drill through, right? Drill through. You want to drill through what? You want to drill through in terms of consignment number, right? Look at this. This is consignment number, and this is the consignment number. We are actually drilling through by looking at the consignment number, right? Which is shipment status, just like this one right here. Okay, the sales order. I want to drill through this particular consignment number, and I want to show over here to see only the consignment number over here, right? Each particular consignment number, and drill through to look at their status for only that particular consignment number. So how do we do that? It's actually very simple. Sales order, consignment number, right, over here, and click on add drill through right here. All right, so we have our consignment number here. Click on this table visualizations, right? Go to our shipment status, click on all the information because you want to see all the informations. All right, change this to date, change this to time, right? Fix the format to a readable format, time to a readable format. Let's see over here. All right, entry, right? We do not want to have the sum entry, right? Entry, put it here. Let's rearrange them, right, as sequence, right? Because this is a update delivery sequence. And just like that, we go back to the report, right click, drill through page 1, and there we have it, guys. We can see the information of the drill through. So if you want to have a consignment number showing on top of here, we can actually do that, right? Consignment number, right? And change this to maximum, right? And then go to visuals, format visuals, right? Call outs, none, and we can have the consignment number just like that. We have a drill through reports. We can actually put this as, right, status, right, status updates, and we can actually right click on this, and we can see each and individual one of the reports, right? The status report, right? So this one is actually in transit mode. Just like that, you successfully created a dashboard, right, that show you guys all kind of things right here, right? Take some time to load, right? You can all investigate very easily, clicking on each individual reports, or click on Vincent, right? When does Vincent do some orders, and how was the shipment like? Sean's, right? Melvin's, right? This particular X9C, right? All these orders, right? That's the beauty of Power BI. So of course you can do some beautification like what I did over here, and do all this kind of presentable. I make it presentable and present it to your interviewer and get a data analyst job. If you like this kind of Power BI content video, please like and comment below that you wanted more this kind of video, and I'll pump it up for you guys. And don't forget to subscribe and get the latest Power BI video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!